In today's session, we will talk about what is the difference between encapsulation and abstraction. This is a favorite question of the interviewer. What is the exact difference between encapsulation and abstraction? So let's start the session, and first we will talk about encapsulation. So what is exactly encapsulation? So encapsulation refers to the mechanism of binding data and the method that operate on that data into a single unit such as class. So encapsulation means keeping data and function that uses that data together in a one place, which is usually a class. Think of it as wrapping data safely inside a box and allowing access only a controlled way. In encapsulation, data is hidden so that it cannot be changed directly by anyone. Instead, a special method are used to read or update the data. This helps protect the object from unwanted changes. If we talk about the real-time example of the encapsulation, so imagine an ATM machine. You cannot directly touch the money inside. You use buttons or options to withdraw or check balance. The machine decides how much you get access. So this is a perfect example of encapsulation. Now the question is why encapsulation is used. So encapsulation is important because it protects data from unwanted access, improves security of the program, make program easy to maintain and modify, and ensure data is used in a correct way. Now we will understand this concept with one example. Okay, so first we have to make one class, that is bank account. So in this case, we will make one user defined data type, that is bank account. And inside this, we have to make only one instance variable by using init function. So we will using init function, and inside this we will use balance. Okay, and actually we will make like this, like self dot, and we want to put balance private. So for that we have to use two underscore and balance, and we will put it 0. Okay, because here the balance is private, so if we want to access balance outside the class, so it's not possible. Okay, because it is private. Okay, so I will take the point, it is private data. Because it is private data, so it is not accessible outside the data. Okay, if you make it public, then it is allowed to access outside the class. Okay, now we'll make some instance method, like if you want to deposit some amount. Okay, so how you deposit? If you want to deposit, so for that we have to make one more function with name def deposit, or we will make with name my deposit. Okay, so my deposit is instance method. Inside it we want to update the balance. Okay, so we will write like this, like self dot balance, and we want to enter some amount. So for that we have to take one local variable here. Okay, so amount, and we want to update the balance. So for that we have to write like this, like uh, plus equal to amount. So here we are using a assignment operator, means assignment operator. Okay, now if you want to print the balance, okay, if you want to print the balance, so for that we have to make one more function. Okay, that is def. By using def we have to make one more instance method, that is def display balance. So here we will make one more instance method, and we want to return balance. So here we will want to return self dot balance. Okay, so this is our class. Okay, now we are making one instance of bank account. So b1 is instance of bank account, and if we want to access balance directly, like if you write like this, like b1 dot balance. Now guess what is the output here? If you want to print b1 dot balance, so here you will get error. Why error? Because here the balance is private. So see the error first. Okay, so bank account object has no attribute balance. But if we remove these underscore from balance and again we run the program, see the output. Output is 0, not work. Because we will kept it private. That is the reason if you try to access outside the class, so you will get error. Okay, so that is an important point. So I think you will get a better understand what is the difference between private data and the protected data. So private data is not accessible outside the class, but public data is accessible outside the class. So with the help of this access modifier, like private access modifier, we will give some security to the balance. Now at the end, but at the end we work on balance. Okay, so if at the end if we want to deposit the amount, okay, so we will accept changes balance only. Okay, so let us suppose if you want to deposit some 5,000 rupees. So for that you have to use instance method my deposit, and inside this you have to put 5,000 rupees. You again want to deposit some amount, so for that you have to use b1 dot my balance. So my balance is instance method, and in this you have to again pass 5,000 rupees. So if you passing the amount inside the my deposit function, so at the end it will change the balance, but you are not able to directly access the balance. But with the help of function at the end you may done changes in balance only. Okay, and if you now check the balance, if you want to check the balance, for that you have to simply write print b1 dot display balance. Now see the balance. The balance, okay, so it has no attribute balance. Okay, so where we are doing b1 dot bank account my deposit, and b1 dot display, okay, is ba. Okay, so problem is actually I forgot that underscore. Again we run the program. Now it's work perfectly, it worked. Okay, so at the end you may perform changes in balance, but with the help of instance method, that is my deposit. Okay, so that is a perfect example of encapsulation. At the end we are changing in a balance, but not directly, indirectly with the help of instance method. So this is a perfect example of encapsulation. Now we will move to next topic, that is abstraction. So what is exactly abstraction? So abstraction refers to the process of showing only essential features while hiding unnecessary implementation details. It focuses on what an object does rather than how it does it. Abstraction is achieved using interfaces and abstract class. It helps in reducing complexity by allowing user to interact with high-level functionality without understanding internal work. The purpose of abstraction reduce system complexity and improve code readability and design clarity. Okay, so what is exactly abstraction? So abstraction means showing only what is important and hiding the complex detail. It focuses on what something does, not how it works internally. In programming, abstraction allows user to use features without worrying about the internal logic behind them. If we talk about the real-time example of abstraction, so think about driving a car. You press the start button or turn the key. The car starts running. You do not need to know how fuel ignition or the engine mechanism work. So you do not worry about the how engine actually work. So this is actually the abstraction. Now the question is why abstraction is used. So abstraction is useful because it reduces complexity in a large program, make code easy to read and understand, allow developers to focus on uses rather than logics, and it support further changes without affecting the users. Now we will take one example to understand the concept of abstraction. Okay, so for that, first we have to make two classes with name vehicles and class. Okay, first we have to make one class with name vehicle. Okay, and inside this vehicle class we have to make one function start. Okay, so this is instance method, and inside that we have to write vehicle is running. We want to print vehicle is running. Vehicle is running. Okay, and now we will make one more class with name car, and we want to make this car as a child of vehicle class. We want to derive this car class from vehicle class. Okay, so in bracket we have to pass vehicle. So by writing like this, we are making car. We are in this case we are making car as a derived class, or we say that we are making car as a child class and vehicle as a parent class. Okay, and okay, now we want to override the start function. Sorry, here the spelling of vehicle is wrong. Not perfect. Okay, now we want to override the start function. Okay, so for that we have to write like this, but if we write only pass here, okay, first we write pass here, and now we want to create the object of first vehicle class. Okay, so for that we have to make v1, and v1 is equal to vehicle. So first we make the reference of vehicle class. Okay, so here v1 is the reference of vehicle. Okay, and we want to call start. So it directly call, if we want, if we want to use start, so we directly write v1 dot start. Okay, and if we run the program, we'll get vehicle is running. We simply write v1 dot start. We don't worry how the code is written inside the start. If we use start, so it will only print the detail. Okay, like vehicle is running. You know, so in this case the user calls start. The user does not know how the engine works. Only the action is visible, not the internal process. And if we want to make the reference of car class, like c1 is equal to car, c1 is equal to car, and you want to again call start. Okay, so it's perfectly work. In this case we will get vehicle is running. Okay, but if we want to override that that start function, so we simply write like this, like def start, and again we have to override the function, and here we write car engine is working. Car engine is working. So if we run the program, see the output. Now the output is vehicle is running and car engine is running. So in this case, a user called the start. User does not know how the engine work. Only the action is visible, not the internal process. And different vehicle can have different implementation. So this is a perfect example of abstraction. So that's all with my today's session. Thank you so much.